Hello, my name is Steve Mayne, and I am a Renaissance gamer. I play a little bit of everything, and everything I play with just a little bit of skill. And today, I'm going to be doing another arena run in Hearthstone. So let's kick in here and start off, see what we can get. So I'm going to pay for that, and let's see who my heroes are. Let's see, I have the Paladin, who can summon, whose hero power is he can summon a 1/1 minion. The Hunter can do 2 points of damage to his opponent, and the Warlock, who can summon, or who can spend 2 life and draw a card. And let's see. Let's try the Paladin.
I will fight with honor.
The Shaman last time, so let's see what we've got here. So our first card off the bat is a rare card, and I can have the Angry Chicken, which is a 1-cost, 1/1 creature. It has a rage for +5 attack. Is when it takes damage, its attack goes up by 5 points. But with 1 hit point, if it takes damage, it dies. I would need something to buff that, and I'm not really guaranteed anything in arena mode, so I don't think I'm going to take the chicken. The Wild Pyromancer, after you cast a spell, deal 1 damage to all minions, which includes my own and himself. That can be really powerful, especially if you have a lot of spells, and maybe the way to heal and buff him. But once again, Paladins aren't really built for either of those things. They are a little bit on both sides, but not particularly well overall. And so I'm going to end up taking the Sun Fury Protector, which when I put her into play, gives taunt to each minion she is placed adjacent to. So that's a pretty good 2-cost figure, or card there. Let's see, my second card here, we got a couple. The Wolf Rider, 3/1 charge, is for 3 is nice. And the Direwolf Alpha, 2-cost, 2/2 that gives each minion on either side of it +1 attack, also really decent. The Nightblade, 5-cost, deals 3 damage to the enemy hero for a 4/4. It's kind of useful, but it's also kind of situational since you have to do the 3 damage to your opponent. I think I'm going to take the Direwolf Alpha. Let's see, we got Light's Justice, which is a 1-cost, 1/4 weapon, which is decent but not thrilling. The Stormwind Knight, which has 2/5 charge. The 2's kind of low on a 4-cost, but the 5 is really useful. Although the fact that it can attack the turn it's put out there helps you get rid of some smaller creatures. And the Youthful Brewmaster, who, when you put him into play, places a card back in your hand. And he's a 3/2 for 2. And I think I'm going to take him because it's useful for battle cry effects, or if you've got something that's been damaged a lot, you can put it back and then resummon it. So let's see, we got another Youthful Brewmaster. That could be handy. The Earthen Ring Farseer, who has a battle cry, she gives 3 health to anybody, so I get to pick who I give that to. And the River Crocolisk, who's just a 2/3 beast for 2. I think I'm going to take the Farseer. I've already got 3 2-cost cards. I don't want to keep throwing 2-cost cards into my deck here. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Repentance. When an opponent plays a minion, reduce its health to 1. The Murloc Raider, which is a 2/1 for 1, but it's with 1 health. The Mage, the Druid, and the Rogue can all get rid of it really easily. And so it's good-ish, especially for 1. It's something you can throw out, especially if you have a lot of Murlocs. You can do some stuff with that, but I'm not guaranteed to get a lot of Murlocs. The Fairy Dragon's a 2-cost 3/2, but can't be targeted by spells or hero powers, which means you either have to use a battle cry effect or flat out attack it. So it can actually be pretty hard to get rid of. And it is a 2-cost, which I know I said I didn't want any more of, but apparently I'm going to be taking that one. Repentance, which I just had, which is a nice card late game, but you're not really guaranteed that your opponent's going to play something that isn't already going to have 1 health. The Mad Bomber, which is a 2-cost 3/2, but it does 3 damage, randomly split between both you, your enemy, and every other minion on the board. So I've seen it get played and then attack the person who played it 3 times. So the Cult Master, whenever one of your other minions dies, draw a card. Since the Paladin is able to create a bunch of 1/1s, that's actually a pretty solid card because I've got a lot of disposable minions. I can just throw at things. Let's see. So now we've got the Loot Hoarder, which is draw 1 card when it dies. It's a 2-cost 2/1. The 1, again, kind of annoying because there's 3 classes that can get rid of it. Blessing of Kings, which gives any minion 4 health and 4 attack for 4, which is nice because I can play it on any of my creatures, or even opponents' creatures, though I've never actually found a reason to do that. The Mogoshan Warden is a 1/7 Taunter, so he can't do a lot of damage, but it takes a while to get rid of him, especially if you play him early on. I don't have any taunt yet, and I'm going to need that, I think, so I'll take the Warden on this one. I've got Repentance again. Apparently the game really wants me to take that. The Shattered Sun Cleric is a 3-cost Battle Cry. Give a friendly minion +1/+1, and she's a 3/3. And the Dark Scale Healer is actually pretty good for 5. It's only a 4/5, which is the same as a Yeti, which I like the Yeti for a 4, but this one, when it comes into play, heals me and all of my other minions for 2 points. So I think I'm going to take her. Let's see, we got the Harvest Golem, which I enjoy the Harvest Golem. It's a 3-cost 2/3 creature, but when it dies, I get a 2/1. So you kill it, you just make it weaker. And then the Frostwolf Warlord, who they've changed. He was originally a 4/4, and he had +1/+1 for every minion on the battlefield, but it would change. The more minions you would play, he would go up, and if they died, he would go down. Now it's a Battle Cry. When you put him into play, that number just stays the same. So you can't make it go any higher, but your opponent can't make it go down. And then Blessing of Wisdom, choose a minion whenever it attacks, draw a card. And this is actually a really good spell because you can put it on your opponent's minions, which may or may not, it kind of gives them a pause on whether or not to attack. And since I don't have any 1-cost right now, I'm going to grab that. So let's see, the Mind Control Tech, if your opponent has 4 or more minions, take control of one of them. He's a 3-cost 3/3, which is really nice. The Emperor Cobra, for 3, you destroy any minion damaged by this minion. He's a 2/3, but again, anything he attacks dies, whether it kills him or not, or whether he can do enough damage to kill it or not. And the Knife Juggler, who is 3/2 for 2, but after you summon a minion, he deals 1 damage to a random enemy, but that also includes the Paladin's hero power. So I think I'm going to grab him for this. So let's see, we've got Bloodfin Raptor, which is a 3/2 beast for 2. Silver Moon Guardian, who's a 4-cost 3/3, but he comes with Divine Shield, so your opponent has to get rid of the Divine Shield first, which just any attack or a silence or anything like that will get rid of it, but it doesn't matter how much damage they do, that first hit is completely ignored. Or a 2-point Holy Light, which will restore 6 health. I've got 1, 2, 3... I've got 5 2s right now. I'm low on... I'm going to grab the Silver Moon Guardian. That could be kind of useful later on. And it's Divine Shield, and that kind of synergizes well with the Paladin deck, as seen by the Argent Protector, who's a 2-cost 2/2, who gives a friendly minion Divine Shield, which can be certainly useful. The Senjin Shield Master, who is a 4-cost 3/5 with Taunt. He's considered... I think a lot of people consider him one of the best taunts in the game. I actually prefer the 5-point Booty Bay Bodyguard, who's a 5/4. He has 1 point less here, but he hits harder. And the 6-point Frost Elemental, whose Battle Cry is freeze a character so that they can't do anything once you put him out, but he's a 5/5, so he's fairly strong and pretty brutal once you get him out there. For the purpose of this, again, I only have the 1 taunt minion so far, so I'm going to grab the Senjin Shield Master and see if I can't keep something in between me and my opponent. The Thralfmar Farseer is Wind Fury, 2/3 for 3, which is a nice kind of all-around attack. He gets to attack twice, and the 2 points isn't thrilling, but you can buff him up. I don't think I ever had a buff. Oh, he's really great with Blessing of Wisdom because you get 2 cards every round, but that makes him kind of a bullet magnet. The Gurubashi Berserker is a 2/7, but every time he takes damage, he gets +3 attack. And if you get some creatures or things in your deck that can heal him, he's really great in Shaman decks and Priest decks. He's good here, but again, he gets killed and he's gone. It's really hard to keep him alive because he does become kind of a prime target. The Leper Gnome is a 1-cost 2/1 and has the death rattle of dealing 2 damage to the enemy hero. So unless they silence it when it dies, it deals 2 damage, but it still gets to attack and do things to them. So even if a wizard like blows or a mage shoots it for 1 point and kills it, they're still going to take 2 points. So I think, because I don't have a lot of 1s right now, I don't have any 3s either. I think I'm going to grab the Leper Gnome because it's a really great early game play. So let's see, we've got Blessing of Kings, which again, the 4/4 health, the River Cross Elixir 2/3, and the Young Dragon Hawk, which is a 1-cost 1/1, but it has Wind Fury, so it can attack twice in a round. Which at 1 health isn't great, because again, there's like 3 classes that can just immediately get rid of that. But you know, I'm going to take the Blessing of Kings. I'm going to need some 3s here pretty soon. I'm getting kind of updone on 2s and 4s. And here we go again. The Stormwind Knight is the charge, 2/5. Noble Sacrifice is a 1-cost. It's a secret, so when it goes into play, my opponent doesn't know what it is. They only know that I've played one of 3 or 4 secrets that the Paladin has. And this one, when an enemy attacks, it summons a 2/1 defender as the new target. It can be interesting. Typically, whatever it is, just the 2/1 dies, and it's an interesting secret. I don't know how much I like it. I prefer the Spellbreaker, which I think I'm going to end up taking, which is a 4/3 for 4, but it silences a minion when I battle cry it, and when mixed with the Youthful Brewmaster, I can just put it back in my hand. So here's the Chillwind Yeti I mentioned earlier. It's a 4-cost 4/5. It doesn't do anything. Silence doesn't work on it because it has no special abilities. It's just a beat stick, but it's a pretty effective one. The Frost Elemental's back, and we have Consecration, which is a 4-cost that does 2 damage to all enemies, which is minions and the character himself. And board clear could be really useful, so I think I'm going to grab that one here. Oh man. So the Gurubashi Berserker's back. We have the Spellbreaker again. Silence is really powerful. We've got a 3-cost 4/2 stealth monster, which means that until it does something, my opponent can't attack it with anything directly. They have to rely on indirect damage and spells. I've got a lot of 4s, but the silence is really good. I'm at 16 cards. How many 4s have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need the silence, so I'm going to go up to 8 4s. Okay, so here we go. This is actually pretty good. Humility, change a minion's attack to 1, is actually pretty useful. There's a lot of stuff that hits really hard and is really big, and you just drop its attack to 1, and you don't completely neuter it, but you certainly give it a good, swift kicking. The Bloodfin Raptor is a 3/2 beast, which is really great in hunter decks because they have a lot of stuff that synergizes with beasts. And it could be decent here, but the Iron Fur Grizzly is a 3/3 with Taunt, and it's a 3-cost, which I was just saying I wanted more of. So I think we're going to take that one. Let's see what we got here. We've got a Zero Wisp, which is basically a free card. It's 1/1, just goes into play, doesn't do anything else. But it's free to play, and sometimes it's that point you need. Consecration's back again, which I actually might take, despite being yet another 4-cost. Apparently, the Paladin has a lot of 4-cost cards. Blessing of Might is a 1-cost that gives a minion +3 attack, which can be really useful in some situations, but I think for the purposes of this, the board clear is just so much more something I would rather have. Let's see, Light Warden. Whenever a character is healed, gain +2 attack. It's a 1-cost 1/2. I don't actually have any. Well, I have one card that heals, so she's really great in a priest deck, except for the fact that she's only 2 health. But they've got stuff that can buff that, and then the +2 attack is permanent. So priest just keeps healing, and shamans with their totems, and it's any character. So anything that's area of effect heal is just amazing with her. The Osier Drake. Spell damage +1, battle cry, draw a card. 5-cost 4/4, that's really useful. And Divine Favor is a 3-cost, draw cards until you have as many in your hand as your opponent. I tend to go through my hand really quickly, which is one of my biggest failings in this game. And with a Paladin deck, it's a little harder because I can keep using the 1/1 minions. And I have so many 4-cost cards, it may not come up very often. Late game, that can certainly be a lifesaver, but if my opponent doesn't have any cards either, it helps cut the advantage if my opponent has a lot of cards and I don't. I don't think I have a lot. I mean, the consecrations with the spell damage would be really nice. But other than that, I don't really have anything that focuses on the spell damage. I only have one thing that heals. I think I'm going to end up taking Divine Favor on this one. Well, let's see. There's another 3/3 taunt, which I'm leaning towards right now. I can take the Raging Worgen, who's a 3/3 for 3, and if he takes any damage, he gets Wind Fury and +1 attack as a rage effect. If you heal him back up to full, it goes away, but still, it makes him a 4/3, and he gets to attack twice. But I think I want the taunt. So let's see. Here we are again. I have another silence. I am very quickly becoming excessively reliant on 4-cost cards. Holy Light, restore 6 health for 2. That can be used on me or any of my creatures, although I don't think at this point I have a creature that's particularly big enough where that would be something I have. For 3 cost, I can do the Ironforge Rifleman, who's a 2/2 who does 1 point of damage. It's useful for getting rid of Divine Shields and picking off low-weight creatures that are hiding behind taunt monsters. But I think the Silence is the more powerful option. That gives me 3 of those, which in Arena you can do. Typically you can only have 2 copies of a card in your deck, but in Arena you can go up to 3. So we have another 4-cost Chillwind Yeti. I like the Chillwind Yeti, but I already have so many 4-costs at this point, I think I want to try and avoid him. I can pick up the 2-point Youthful Brewmaster, which I think I will. The Noble Sacrifice is good, and my lack of taunt is making it seem like a better idea all the time. But I think I'm going to grab the Youthful Brewmaster and maybe be able to throw stuff back into my hand. Here's a hard choice. Actually, not really. I could take another Silence, taking me to a grand total of 4 of these. A full Silence deck that comes with a 4/3 creature behind it isn't anything to laugh at. It can be quite good and quite powerful. Or I could take this Hand of Protection, which is a 1-cost and gives a minion Divine Shield. I've got 2 cards, 1 card that comes with Divine Shield, 1 card that gives it out. Divine Shield can be an exceptionally powerful thing, especially on some creatures. Early game, it's really hard to get around and deal with. So I think I'm going to grab that. Let's see. We've got the Holy Light, which is the restore 6 health. The Young Dragonhawk, the 1/1 Wind Fury, and the Noble Sacrifice. I'm finding a distinct lack of taunts that I'd really like to have, but I just don't. So I think I'm going to take the Noble Sacrifice, which is kind of a taunt. It forces the attack to go there rather than where your opponent might want it. And it does 2 points of damage back. Plus it's a spell. I don't have anything that does spell damage. But if something actually happens to be the best choice and ends up out in play, that's kind of a good thing. We've got, 3 Divine Shield cards. I could use another Earthring Farseer, restore 3 health. Or I could grab an Argent Protector and be very much Divine Shieldy. I think I will. I'm going to grab that and have another Divine Shield floating around. I am desperately in need of some late game beasts, some power mad lunatic thing. I don't have anything right now. Let's see what we got. We got the Dalaran Mage, spell damage +1 for 1. He's a 1 damage, 4 health. For 3, the 1 damage used to be 2, but after they did a reset recently and dropped that to 1. I now have 3 cards that would take advantage of the spell damage. So that could be, there are 4 cards that would take advantage of the spell damage, which could be useful. No, actually, Noble Sacrifice doesn't take advantage of the spell damage, but which could be useful. I have the Voodoo Doctor, which is a 1-cost 2/1 that will heal. And I could get a Hammer of Wrath, which is yet another 4-cost card, but deals 3 damage and draws a card. Card draw is something that I'm lacking, so I could use that. And let's grab it. Let's load up on 4 costs. Why not? See, I can do a 3-cost Jungle Panther, which I'm really leaning towards. Again, I mean, yeah, the Yeti's great, but good lord, I have so many 4-cost cards. The 1-cost Redemption, when one of your minions dies, return it to life with 1 health. It can be useful, but I find that whenever I have that out, people start attacking stuff that already has only 1 health, and typically really small in stuff gets shot for that. You can't guarantee what your opponent's going to kill to that'll trigger this. So I think I'm going to grab the Jungle Panther. Ooh, there's a big creature, a 7/7 War Golem, and another one, the 5/5 Stranglethorn Tiger with Stealth. I have the ability to give something a Divine Shield, but I really want a late game beast. The 7/7's really looking good to me. I've got 28 cards. I'm getting this card and 1 more. I'm going to take the War Golem. And we're up to my final rare card. So, Bloodsail Corsair. Remove the durability from your opponent's weapon, which is great if my opponent has weapons. Otherwise, it's just a 1/2, but that's actually still pretty decent. My opponent can't get rid of it as easy. Some of the, the rogues, mages, and druids can't get rid of it quite as easy. The Defender of Argus is a 4-cost because I need another one of those, but he's Battle Cry, gives adjacent minions +1/+1 and taunt for 3/3. He's a 3/3, and I have a 2-point equality, which changes the health of every minion in the board to 1, which, ooh, Lord, that's really great with where was it? Consecration. That and Consecration go really well together as a 6-point. All of your stuff has 1 health, and then it all dies. The taunt's really good. I have so many 4s. So many 4s. Oh man, it's gonna kill me to do this. I'm gonna take the equality. I mean, it'll affect my characters as well, which kind of sucks, but there you go. I have enough time. I think I've got enough time for 1 game here, so let's kick in and see how well my deck de Paladin goes here. Hopefully it'll do pretty well, and maybe we'll get a win for you here right off the bat. They've added music to this point, which I actually really enjoy. Got a very old-timey movie villain theme quality to it. I just think that's pretty fun. So I'm going to go up against Jaina Proudmoore, played by Homeless Kid. Wow, look, I got a whole bunch of 4s in my hand. What are the odds of that? So I'm gonna hang on to the 1 silence, get rid of the Cult Master and the War Golem, and I'm gonna keep the Youthful Brewmaster. At the very least, if I have to, the Youthful Brewmasters are really great. 3/2. I'm gonna go second, which means I get the coin and get to say hello to my opponent, because that's only courteous. Alright, let's do this. Let's throw out the Knife Juggler.
Job's done.
And in my turn. First round Knife Juggler. Always useful. I mean, she'll probably fireball it for 1, but I have a Youthful Brewmaster, so I can put him back in my hand and resummon him later. Let's see. Actually,
Let me think.
so let's do it this way. Let us get this right. So I will attack with him. Do 3 points of damage. I think this will work. I've never actually done this before. So I'm going to Youthful Brewmaster and send the Knife Juggler back into my hand. But I think it will still trigger the Knife Juggler's ability to fire a dagger. Oh, nope. No, it does not. But it does put him back in my hand, which still pretty useful. And then that ends my turn. So let's see what Jaina's gonna do.
Pain, speak to me.
Okay, she's gonna play the Acolyte of Pain. Every time he takes damage, she gets to draw a card. Let's see. Well, you know what? I am just going to give her a card and a dead minion. And I'm going to throw out a 3/3 Taunting Grizzly Bear. So let's see. Next round, I'm going to have 4 men. I'm going to have 3 choices. I can throw out a Silence. I can throw out a minion with a Divine Shield. I can Hammer of Wrath something for 3 damage and a card. Yeah, I kind of saw that coming. She fire blasted my guy. I could Knife Juggler and Reinforce. Let's see. I think, because this has got Enrage, so if I attack it with the bear, it's going to be down to 1, and she's just going to fire blast it. If I Hammer of Wrath it dies, I get a card, which I think, yeah, if I Knife Juggler it and the Knife Juggler shoots it for 1, it's going to get a ridiculous health boost. This way, yeah, I get to keep the bear and do that. So this is actually working out pretty well, I think. Let's see. Options for next round. I'm going to have 5 mana. Certainly the Knife Juggler, Fairy Dragon are both good options. Okay, he's got the Divine Shield. So, yeah, actually I like that. Let's Knife Juggler. Fairy Dragon. Did not hit quite who I wanted. I'm going to play Noble Sacrifice to give myself a 2/1 go. Attack her.
Job's done.
And end my turn. Actually, this is really useful because if she attacks with him, it'll trigger this, which will summon a guy and throw a knife. The 2/1 will get rid of the shield. And then that'll be dropped to 1 health. And I'll have a couple of options for getting rid of it. So, yes, here we go.
Get down!
If I'd gotten rid of the shield, that would have been awesome. But that was actually still good. Shooting Jaina for a point of damage, still quite excellent. So, okay, so yeah, she's going to throw out the Oasis Snapjaw. She's going to... What was that? That was Freeze Bolt to kill my bear. Let's see. So let's drop the wolf there, which will do a point of damage. And let's see, I don't want to use another card, so we'll do this and throw it out. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose the knife juggler this round. So let's see. Kind of do this. Yeah, I'm not going to get to keep the knife juggler out of this.
I wonder.
I don't think I'm going to get to keep much of anything out of this. So let's see. I can only kill one over 2 creatures. I can reduce the Snapjaw to 2. Yeah, I'm going to have to. Yeah, that was all I got. So the Snapjaw will probably... so probably Fire Blast the guy. Yeah, she'll trade the Snapjaw there. So that was actually very effective for her. Okay, so she's putting him out. I am actually going to silence him. The Gadget Zan Auctioneer, whenever you cast a spell, whenever she would cast a spell, she'd get to draw a card, and the mage has lots of spells, as you might guess. So this will prevent her from getting to just keep drawing cards while he roams around free. Let's see, next round I'm going to be up to 8 mana. I can throw out the War Golem or any 2 other cards. Let's see, I think the War Golem's probably going to end up being my best bet. Oh, no. That's pretty good. Frost Elemental will freeze him. Let's see. Well, I can throw him out.
Silvermoon shall not
Yeah, with the Divine Shield, she'll have to Fire Blast to get rid of the Divine Shield. And I can throw out... Ooh. Let's do... So he's 4/3, 4/2. She shot him for a point of damage. Why would she do that?
I wonder.
She might have a card that does 2 points of damage, and she could use that to get rid of him. Because she can just attack and get rid of him with this guy, and he'll survive. Or this guy, and he'll die. But man, she specifically did a point of damage to him. That's just weird. Yeah, I'm going to put out the Farseer and heal him back up to full.
Job's done.
So, and then I will end my turn. And I realize now that I think about it, I should have thrown out the Spellbreaker and silenced him, because it would have gotten rid of the frozen condition, and I could have killed the Gadget Zan Auctioneer. And I will have to remember that. That could be something that really hurts me on this one. So Blizzard, 2 points of... that's what it was. The Blizzard would have killed him. So... Alright, let's see. So let's try... So now that I know that I can do... Now that I can remember that I can do that, let us put him out.
magic shall not save.
Silence him.
Remember,
Hit there. Throw him out. Put him back in my hand, so I have another silence available, and throw out a 1/1.
Reporting for duty.
Alright. So if she tries to freeze everybody again, I'll be able to do that another time. Mirror image. Okay, that's a really annoying card. It summons 2/0/2 taunt minions. Okay. Ooh, she's gonna hit me with a fireball. Oh, nicely played. Alright. Ooh. Let's see, most of my stuff is dead anyway. So let's see what I can do here. Now let's do this.
Die.
I'll trade that there.
Of course. The battle!
We'll get rid of him. I will realize I should have done this a second ago. I will get rid of
Accept.
him.
Not on my watch.
And throw out a 1/1. Alright. So, with 10 mana and 3 cards, I've got 7 life. She may actually have this. Fireball will do 6 damage, and then she can shoot me for 1. There's a lot of things a mage can do for 10 mana and 3 cards that'll just get rid of me completely. So,
Well played.
and oh, Pyroblast. That's even just one spell that'll do it. So, not off to a thrilling start. I wish I had remembered the silence the frozen minion trick 30 seconds earlier, and I think this might have gone a little differently. But overall, I think that game was pretty decent. So there we go. Sadly, I am 0-1 right now. Well, that's going to be it for tonight. So thank you for joining me. My name is Steve Mayne. And, if you get a chance, leave a comment below or give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. If you do give me a thumbs down, leave a comment. Tell me why so I can figure out how to make these better. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Have a good evening, everyone.